heard about Miles Davis and I've played some Miles Davis. Never thought I'd really see the life of Miles Davis, and still haven't. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film Miles Ahead. This is the movie about Miles Davis. He was a famous trumpet player back in the earlier part of the 1900s. He was someone who developed his own style of trumpet playing. He called it social music. He didn't call it jazz, even though he played a lot of jazz music, and that's mainly what he is known for. He's mainly known for his improvisation. As a ex-trombone player of sorts, I understand the burden a little bit of being an improvisational player. Yeah, this movie I was really excited to go see because I've heard about Miles Davis a lot and I haven't really studied him that closely. And so I was really excited to see, hey, what did this guy go through? How did he become a big star? How did he get really, really good at improvisation? This movie didn't really tell me that. Don Cheadle, he plays Miles Davis. He also directs this movie, and he did a fantastic job in the role of this character. I've mainly seen this guy, at least from what I can remember, in the Iron Man movies as War Machine. And so seeing him as this totally different character, he really captures the performance really, really well, because you can tell that he was very passionate about this role. And he plays trumpet, assuming that is him actually playing all this stuff. He does it phenomenally well, and I have to give huge credit to this guy, because as far as if that was actually him playing every single note that is shown on screen, he is a wickedly good trumpet player, and I have mad props for him. Ewan McGregor is also in this film. He is this guy who's trying to get an interview with Miles Davis, and that's generally his role in the movie. He's kind of his partner in crime, because the movie is split story-wise up into two different sections. It kind of just jumps back and forth for the majority of the movie. The part that takes place basically in the past, or maybe the present, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it focuses on Miles Davis and Ewan McGregor trying to get this tape back, which has this recording on it, which Miles Davis desperately needs. And that's what that plot point focuses on. The one in the future focuses more on his relationship and his marriage, and seeing the different aspects of that, which eventually happened. And you get to see that while Miles Davis is a fantastic trumpet player, he was a dick. He was not faithful to his wife. He asked her to quit dancing. She was in just world productions that were touring all over the world, and he asked her to quit because, oh hey, you're my wife now, you should be with me instead. And it just, that bugged me when that scene kind of came up, and I was just like, you don't do that, that's not cool. But it does start out a little bit tough to follow. Maybe it was because I went to this movie feeling kind of tired and exhausted, so maybe I was just having trouble following it for that reason. But I just found that the first hour or so was just a little bit jumbled, and I didn't really know exactly what was going on. And by the second half of the movie, it became a little bit clearer. I started to get more into it, just the more the story started to develop. But my main issue with the movie is that it only covers these two different sections of Miles Davis's life. As this is a biopic, I was expecting it to show us his roots, showing how he became a trumpet player, how he kind of gradually became more and more famous, and the obstacles that he had to overcome in order to reach that fame. Then show us these two stories in a much smaller context, and then move on and show us kind of what he did with the rest of his life. It only focuses on these two stories, the tape and his marriage, and it just didn't seem like that big of a deal, and therefore I wasn't as interested in this movie as I was really expecting to be. I wanted to see the life of Miles Davis. I wanted to see a lot more trumpet playing and performances by him, and it just didn't really do it for me. A lot of other music-based biopics that I've seen have really done that aspect well. They show us the group or the musician from their roots and just show them rise to fame and then whatever struggles they have to go through. And they show us a lot of performances in like real time, live action. And this just didn't really do that much. Performances, like I said, are very good. I enjoyed seeing them all a lot. But the other thing that I enjoyed about this movie was the fact that it used this old camera filter or camera lens. I'm not really sure the technical term for it, but it framed the movie in like an old time feel or lens, and it just made it look very, very authentic and set in that time period. I really like seeing that because it kind of gave a cool feel to the movie and kind of elevated the performances just a little bit as a result, because it made it feel much more set in the time period than it might have otherwise been. But guys, I was also been kind of disappointed with Miles Ahead. I was expecting a genuine biopic which showed the guy's beginning and then his end and everything in between. This didn't really do it for me. It just showed two stories which weren't ultimately that very interesting. Maybe if I had known a lot about Miles Davis ahead of time, maybe these stories would have had a lot more significance to me, but just not really knowing a lot about the guy, it didn't really work that well. And I think anyone who isn't either an expert trumpet player who knows just a ton about Miles Davis's history and his music and everything, they're just not really going to enjoy this movie as much as they're going to expect to. But guys, those are my thoughts on Miles Ahead. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.